Yo patrons, this is Johannes from Noisebud, and today I release version 1.2 of Fräs. 1.2 of Fräs. Right, let's have a look at it. What I realized, I'm not gonna do a complete walkthrough today. I need to do that again with this plugin, and I need to update the manual as well. I haven't had the time to do that, but I think the changes I made is simple enough to understand, so I just try to keep this short and informative so that you can just download it and start using it. And then I will rewrite the manual and do a complete walkthrough later. All right, let's start with the filter that we added, the Messitte Filter, if I pronounce that right. Sorry if I don't, Nick. I'm Swedish, you know. All right. The thing was that I realized that I changed it in the last version because I realized that it worked as a high shelf attenuation when you used it. So you affected the signal and make it darker when you use the filter, and that was never the intention. The intention was just to filter out distortion from the higher part of the spectrum. But I didn't want it to affect the signal like an EQ. So I created that. Then I realized that there was a problem with the way I did it in the last version, because there's a loudness algorithm that is post the distortion part of the signal in this, and the filter affected the reading. So when you added a lot of distortion, then most of the low end got lost, and that will make us perceive the signal as less loud. So the loudness compensation algorithm would boost the signal, and now all of a sudden, instead of working as attenuation with the high shelf attenuation, it started to work as a high shelf boost instead. And we don't want that either. We want it to be neutral, or as neutral as possible. The problem is that the whole process is non-linear in this, which means that it's really hard to calculate what will happen to the signal. I ended up doing this by ear, so I hope that is good enough. I maybe have to revisit it again later, but right now, I think it sounds good. So let's just have a listen to how that sounds. So we're gonna distort the signal to hell. We're removing all the dynamic stuff, and we're just distorting by a lot. And actually, let's listen to the delta. Or no, we'll listen to the whole signal first.
Hit you in the chest like a slap from the bros. Ain't just noise bomb, it's deep in the soul. Vibe so mad, make you lose control. Like a roadman's hustle, it's rough, it's raw. Shakes the pleasure up, can't ignore the roar. Bass got you thinking, got you caught in the game. Once it grips you, bro, you ain't the same. Once it grips you, bro. 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 Ain't the same. Oh, it's on top, fam. Vibe so heavy like the weight of the jump.
I think that works better, and you can see that the signal gets louder. So the loudness algorithm, when you're using the clean version of the high end, it measures louder, and that's cool. All right, that was the filter part. Then I added a magic button. Every plugin needs a magic button. It's not magic at all. It's just that I don't know what to call it, so I called it magic. And that wasn't actually meant to follow to the final version. It was just something that I called it while developing, but I couldn't come up with a decent name. So now it's magic. What it does is that it will take the left, right, and convert that to mid-side for specific parts of the plugin. So it's not like it's doing a MS matrix of the whole plugin. So the left channel is the mid and the right channel is the side. And that's the normal way you do if you have a hardware compressor, for example, and you run it in mid side, then you have the left channel becomes the mid and the right becomes the side. So it doesn't do that. It will, for specific parts of the plugin, it will run the signal in mid side, and that can sound really shitty sometimes and really cool other times. So this is more, yeah, you have another option. You can click that and see if it sounds better. Let's see if you can hear a difference when we are distorting the signal to hell like we're doing right now. Here we go.
Like a roadman's hustle, it's rough, it's raw. Shakes the place up, can't ignore the roar. Bass got you thinking, got you caught in the game. Once it grips you, bro, you ain't the same. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro, you ain't the same.
Let's bring back all the dynamic stuff. There we go, and see if you can hear a difference when it's set up like this.
Bro. Once it grips you, bro, you ain't the same. Feel the low, it's on top. Fun vibe so heavy like the weight of the jump. Bassline hits hard, no time for the chat. When it drops, bro, you ain't coming back. Vibe so cold, got you feeling the freeze. Every way the blast, put your mind at ease.
So it's just something. Sometimes it sounds really nice, and sometimes you don't hear different at all, and sometimes it sounds shit. So it's just another option you have. That's another change, and now for the final change. I added a global loudness compensation algorithm, and I did this because since I created Perfect and later on Perloves, I just got accustomed to working completely level compensated and loudness compensated, and that makes me want loudness compensation in every plugin. The problem with loudness compensation is that there's no real standard for it, which means that some do like peak normalization, others use RMS, others use, it's always different approaches to it, and with different levels of success as well. So I haven't found a way to do it that I really like and that I think works activated all the time. I'm taking this, I've often used the same methods as Isotope has done, which I think there is worse than mine, but it's moving all the time. It's measuring the dry signal and try to compensate the wet signal. But the problem with that is that it will act as a kind of a dynamic processor, even if it's not like a compressor, but it will move the level up and down all the time, and that's not always what you want, and it's not always predictable, which means that sometimes you can't leave it on. You have to lock the value in Perloves, for example, to work with it, or set it to really slow value. With this, in this plugin, and I actually copied this to Shape to Advanced and another plugin that I will release soon, and this has become a favorite, really. It's really simple. It measures the short term of the incoming dry signal, and it measures the short term LUFS value of the outgoing of the process signal. And then it compares those two, and this value that you see here where it says decibel just show you the difference between the incoming and the outgoing signal. So if this says 1 decibel, for example, at a positive value, that means that you can raise the level by 1 decibel, and that will be measured as loud. as the dry signal. And I discovered that as long as these are around 0 or positive values, most of the times you feel that what you've done to the signal is beneficial. While if you have negative values, it often sounds worse. In case there's one situation where it's not, and that's not a situation with Fräs often, because it's when you're trying to fix something. Let's say that you have audio that has too little low end. You just have to boost the low end. That will make this value lower, and then you're probably making the signal sound better, even if you perceive it as less loud, because it's not balanced. That's the only situation where a negative value is better. For all other processes, dynamic processing and like this, distortion, it's almost always that a positive value, when the process signal measures less loud than the incoming, then you have done something that is beneficial. This will give you a signal that sounds louder online later on the chain. So we're gonna play around a bit with it, and the way you use this is the intended use is you play the most intense part, play it for about 3 seconds, so you have the whole short term value. Then you click the loud compensation button, and that will lock the current gain difference that this is showing. And then you can, so you kind of do this when you're done, so you don't gonna change anything more. Then you're happy with the changes, but you want the gain difference into the signal as well. But I discovered that I often leave this off, and instead trying to dial in settings so that I don't drift too much away from 0. Maybe positive 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, sometimes 0.5. But I rarely go above that, because then it starts to be too much. So I'm just trying to be subtle with this. And the cool thing with having this global in Fräs is that you can start to use it. I showed you with the last update how you can use this as a compressor. And you can start to do that, but you can start to do that level compensated since you have a global thing here. And you can see if your changes you're doing, if they're actually beneficial. So it's not just an distortion unit anymore. All right, I'm going to play around with the loudness value right now, and we're just going to play this, and I'm gonna fool around. We'll see what we can make.
But their man's hustle, it's rough, it's raw. Shakes the place up, can't ignore the roar. Bass got you thinking, got you caught in the game. Once it grips you, bro, you ain't the same. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro, you ain't the same. Feel the low, it's on top. Fun, vibe so heavy like the weight of the jump. Bass I hit hard, no time for the chat. When it breaks, bro, you ain't coming back. Vibe so cold, got you feeling the freeze. Every way the blast, put your mind at ease. Once you're in, ain't no way to escape. The sounds got you locked, there's no room to pray. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro. Once it grips you, bro, you ain't the same. once it grips you, bro.
Yeah, it's fun. So those are the changes. The filter has been updated. Magic button, which is a kind of mid-side matrix inside the plugin, and the loudness button. While doing this demo, I actually I realized I want to change. I want both the moving number and I want the lock value when I hit lock. So I'm gonna add that, I think. So there will be a version 1.3 as well, probably soon. Who knows? All right, that's it for version 1.2 of Fräs, and download it and enjoy it. And it should install on Mac like a new plugin, so you can keep the old one in your old projects if you don't want to use the new stuff in this. Then you have to kind of move all the changes to this. Well, okay, I'll stop talking now. Bye bye. Have a nice evening, and I see you again soon.